Welcome back, everybody, here on LJL OU. We are into the second half of the day, and as promised, I am given the gifts of Beautiful Crow and Nymera to close out the day. Beautiful humans both. And let's get straight into it. Game number
Flattery
3,
will
Rascal
get you nowhere,
Jester.
Brackish.
It might get you somewhere with me. I can't be looking for that.
Can a man not just be nice? Rascal Jester versus Burning Core, though. I want to shout out straight away, because I know we were talking about this before, spoilers, but let's zoom straight in on the mid lane, because Recap versus Dice is certainly where I want to look for this game.
Oh, I think it's where I want to look as well, not just because I'm a mid laner, but because I feel like this is the matchup which is most likely to be interactive, if you get what I mean. I feel like this is the one that's going to be even. I did briefly think about, hey, maybe we should talk about top lane. Ray Farkey had a great game the other day, and then Ino, of course, has been trying to settle in with this roster, and it's been a big part of their successes too. But really, I feel like the mid laners for both of these teams is going to be the swing matchup here. Yesterday, Recap had a bad time versus Jet. Now, Jet has been one of the standout players of this whole split so far for the LJL. But outside of that, Recap has had a really good split. His Vigar has been incredibly potent for this team. It's allowed them to play their mid-game fights out very, very effectively, where they found a lot of successes. And on the other side, Dice has
Yeah, I agree 100%. The mid lane will definitely be a big influencing factor on the rest of the game. And if, they received yesterday, that would be pretty great. Man, it's going to be fun to see for sure how Burning Core can rise to the occasion if they should so be able to. As you know, this is another one of those matchups. They're 1-1 in the head-to-head in the past 2 games. That's what we love about the triple round robin, right? You get that third deciding game in the head-to-head. So
yeah, we don't like ties here. We're not doing a shirt and tie affair. We're in t-shirts today. We don't do ties.
Yeah, woke up in this perfect fit. You know how it is. So definitely looking to see which team is going to get that all-important head-to-head win. And yeah, just the mid lane matchup I'm really looking forward to. Rather, also kind of looking at the bot lane. I do believe this is just RJ diff all day.
I was about to say, I was not looking to the bot lane because it was probably just going to be Soul and Secret taking Yuhi and Fujimoto to town, really. Now, Fujimoto has had a great couple of games. He has been actually a real standout player for this Burning Core roster. And Yuhi has stepped up actually with that support, stepping up alongside him. But they're saying, oh, they're doing well and they've made a good impact and a good first impression compared to this was one of our best bot lanes in the entire region last split, and they continue on good form. So for me, bot lane, I'm averting my gaze because it feels like it's going to be a bit one-sided.
Right. I do tend to think it'd be one-sided, but I also think like Burning Core, they have been on an upward trajectory. Yuhi and Fuji have been playing very well, whereas Secret and Soul rather have been kind of wishy-washy. Even though, RJ, cool, 10-game win streak, but Soul and Secret weren't there for all of those games, I would say. So definitely going to see if maybe Burning Core can knock the Kings off with a little bit rocky, if you know what I mean.
Absolutely. And like a vampire hunter, I want to talk about stakes because we're getting towards the end of the split. And this is what we need to do. This is the last theoretical game that Rascal Jester could lose on paper, because their remaining games are against Axes and V3. So every expectation on the planet we could have is that they will win those 2. So if they can take this game, that means that they probably close out the split at 16-5, giving them the best possible chance of making it through in second to the Juggernaut match. But that relies on Sengoku Gaming dropping a game. They have a harder road.
Yeah, they have a harder schedule.
They have a harder road, yep. Schedule. They are playing, I'm going to look this one
up,
actually.
They've got the Hawks and Burning Core, and those are the 2 harder games that they've got. So you're looking at these 2 teams that are vying for that second place, and Rascal Justice currently have the 1-2 versus Sengoku. Sengoku have that preferential head-to-head. And that second place spot is really important. Having the upper bracket run, having the extra life going through the Juggernaut match, and being able to have a best of 5 against DFM, likely guaranteed rather.
Guaranteed,
DFM in that top spot. You have to now feel that that second place race is really pivotal to both these teams.
Yeah, this is definitely that day that neither team wants to lose. You know, they're both looking for that second Juggernaut spot. And yeah, like we said, RJ looking to have an easier time of it than Sengoku are. But anything can happen in League of Legends. You know,
so they say
things kind of don't go according to plan 100% of the time. I mean, even DFM managed to lose 2 games.
And conversely, for Burning Core, if they lose this and they drop a couple more games, they actually find themselves risking losing the 4th place slot to CGA if they continue on the trajectory we saw in that previous game. Of course, it was a win versus V3, so we can't really take too much from it. But if CGA finish out with a winning record, then Burning Core could find themselves in 5th. Then again, I suppose that doesn't matter too much because they'd still be playing against CGA either way around.
Well, I mean, it depends on who's choosing who to fight, right? Because if I'm sat there as the 3rd spot, I don't think I pick Hawks even if they do end up going in towards 6th. I think the Hawks are looking like
it's opponent selection. I thought it was just side selection. I thought it was 3v6, 4v5.
The 3rd place chooses the opponent out of 5th and 6th. So if you get up into 4th, you avoid, first off, you're going to have side selection in game 1 of your first series, and then also you're avoiding getting picked by the 3rd place team out of Rascal Jester and Sengoku. So I feel like because the Hawks are on an upswing, this is now actually a very important match to avoid that 5th place spot and to secure that 4th place.
We'll see if Burning Core are able to do so. We are into draft for game number 3 of the day. Guys, take it away.
Oh man, off the bat here, Burning Core are going to take off the Vigar, the Kate, and the Kaisa, pinching that pool. RJ. Okay.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah,
because we talk about like the champions which have nameplate value. When you give them to a certain player, you don't really feel like that's a good pick to give over. And Recap's Vega has been a huge part of Rascal Jester's success. However, with all of the AD carries being banned and the Kaisa being taken away, the Caitlyn being taken away, the Zeri's left up on the table. Now, of course, Sol gets a choice of his hyper carries to pick between in terms of the Jinx and Nephelis, which are left on the table. But Rascal Jester, knowing that the AD carry's already been locked in for Burning Core, pick up a very strong, bursty, skirmishing pick combo of the Lee Sin and the Ahri for the mid jungle.
Okay, answer me this. When was the last time Mahachimecha played Lee Sin in a game? Because he's kind of been on the Volley Viego 2-trick path for the majority of
No, he
spring.
hasn't played it this split. First time this split, but I remember from seasons past Hachimecha being a Lee Sin player of some renown because he is one of the few LJL players that will path a little strangely early. I love the Silas lock-in by DICE, however. He's played 1 game of it before, so this is going to be his 2nd game reprising that one. And I'd say when I'm playing Ahri, which I do a lot, the champion which I ban the most often is Silas. It feels like Silas is a champion that uses your ult just a little bit better than you, and if you're coming in for mid-jungle fights in the early levels of the game, Silas can fight very early into the game. Level 3, level 4, when you've got multiple points into your Kingslayer after that point, becomes very hard to shut down, and his mobility and bursts becomes quite difficult to deal with.
Yeah, definitely can agree with that. The Silas pick being a good pick into the Ahri. You know, you want a mage that's just as mobile, if not more, than her to be able to keep up in these team fights and keep up in these small skirmishes, what have you. Talking about the level 3s and how that advantage can swing in his favor. I'm really liking the pickup of the Nautilus here. You know, Fujimoto just kind of been on Leo not duty for the majority of this split.
And what it does, right, that Nautilus is it's a takeaway from Secret and saying, look, you're not going to have probably the best support answer into Zeri. Point and click at that Nautilus ultimate, lots of CC, able to fight early into the game when Zeri doesn't really want to. So on the other side, Rascal Jester, they see the Zeri Nautilus and like, okay, well, we're not going towards the Jinx, the FLS, locking in the Senna, which is why we're seeing those second round bans from Burning Core focus towards Senna lane pairings or champions that do well with that champion, even if they're flexed towards the top lane. Of course, they have themselves the R5 counter pick should they want to. And with the Volibear being locked in, now I remember there being a couple of Lee Sin Senna games in the last split. We saw a couple of these hanging around, so there is a chance that we see the Lee Sin flex into another role. Just saying, there is a chance of it being solo lane like LCK Rascal, of course. He is a Rascal Jester alumni, of course, being put around. However, with the Gragas locked in, I don't think you want to put that Lee Sin top lane. It feels like it's you don't really achieve much in that matchup. I'm expecting either the Volibear to go top or the Lee Sin to go bot.
Yeah, definitely took me for surprise by a little bit of a loop here with that volley pickup by RJ to see where they're going to put it. And once again, looks like Rayfarki will be on Gragas duty. I think this is his, what, 5th game in a row of it, as the man has been putting in work on this champion. I mean, you've seen Gragas top come a lot into fruition past few weeks in a lot of leagues around the world. I think it is still a very good pick.
Rayfarki had an awesome Gragas game yesterday.
Yes.
I have so often been sat there like, you know what, not a big fan of putting Rayfarki on tank duty, and it was the tank Gragas, but you know what, he played so well in the team fights and the team picked up the slack to the point where it just didn't matter. Now, he has to go into the Aatrox now. Aatrox has always been an LJL favorite. We're going to see what happens with these champion switch arounds. The Aatrox being locked into the top lane means that we're going to have an interesting lane pairing, whether that's going to be the Volibear or the Lee Sin. You have to see with the current flexes. Looks like Secret's going to be playing Volibear.
Volley support.
I don't think I've ever seen that before. I'm actually not sure I've seen Volibear Senna lane pairing. That's a really interesting one.
Oh, no, they switched it last second. They got us. They got us.
Damn, I'm actually so sad about that. I was about to go like Google up some stats and be like, sweet, cool, let's go and get in Legends. Let's see who's played Volibear bot lane in the past. But the Lee Sin Senna is something that we've seen a couple of times. I actually think it was the Hawks that played it when Corporal was still on the roster last split. It's not something which has been completely out of the window for the LJL. However, it's not something which I would call a prevalent lane duo. Have to see now, of course, Rascal Jester's bot lane, pilot it and see what they can do into this bot lane.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see. My eyes are new to this for sure. Ooh, man. Okay, I'm liking this lineup. Yeah, the mid lane, we were talking about it pre-game, going to be between Recap and Dice and how they're going to be just at each other's throats, essentially, with these picks. And the Ari versus Silas, we know how that matchup can become very volatile. As we're going to get into the game, Namera, I'm excited for some wonderful League of Legends action.
So am I. I'm always excited when it's LJL day. It's something which I've grown very used to over the last 2 and a bit years. And yeah, and it's great to see Ino picking up this carry into the top side into one of the best Aatrox players in the league. So maybe a bit of a thumbs up towards his lane opponent. Says, hey, I can play this one too. But now let's take a bit of a wider glance of what's happening with these team compositions. So I feel like early into the game, there's actually a lot of playmaking on both sides. You have a Viego that can gank early into the game. Level 2, level 3, you can start flashing in with that special lore, getting some stuns. You have lanes that can follow up on that too. On the other side, you got yourself a Lee Sin that wants to fight early. You got a Volibear that wants to fight early. Now, the LJL is not a region that likes to get that active early into the game. I'm just saying that there are some tools there to work with. And if everyone kind of holds their abilities and keeps their powder dry until the first Herald, the first real grouping of players across the map, it's going to be very explosive to watch. Watch how this early game goes. That's going to swing a very snowbally matchup between both of these high playmaking teams.
For sure. Definitely want to watch this early game. You know, yeah, how Flawless is going to path on this Viego, where he will show up first. You know, this is going to be interesting. I feel as if the bot lane even though I wanted to see a lot of action between the two and a lot of time visited down there, I don't think we're going to get that. This I do want to.
I mean, hey, we'll see, right? I mean, you see that Nautilus can fight right away from level 1. It's just a problem of playing against this is a really high base damage, high utility bot lane between the Lee Sin and the Senna. They do a lot with their base utility of their kit in terms of lots of heals, lots of shields. You can see the safeguard start from the Lee Sin, just allowing Solemn Secret to walk up to the wave, use that piercing darkness, and then these safeguards. You have healing, shielding, so you can't really contest them in damage on that point. And you can see that that Yuhi and Fujimoto not really finding anything to work towards there. Now, the question is, what can you do with this lane then? Because you know it's going to be pushing in right now because the Sen is pushing up so hard. But can you path towards the spot lane? Well, actually, because there are wards traded level 1, both junglers know exactly where the other one's pathing to. They've walked over Vision multiple times. You can see the Hachimetra walked up towards, he went towards his full top side clear, going towards a full clear towards bot side. Both teams know exactly what the junglers are doing, which means that these lanes are free to brawl right now.
Yeah, and interesting note, I believe this is just a standard start whenever you do pick a melee partner into the Senna, the Doran's shield over the Doran's blade, just for that extra regen and that, that health and that little initial tanky stats. So I do like to see that coming out from RJ in secret.
I mean, it's a Lee Sin. It doesn't really matter what he builds. He's going to do exactly the same thing.
Right.
It does. I mean, again, like the early couple of levels from this lane, as you can see, actually the Sunwave just missing there. Well, the thing about this lane is that you just find it so hard to trade against them. Look, how many shields, how many heals on top of that. They go in and they take such a bad. Okay, maybe don't take a tower shot.
Maybe don't take the tower shot with the ignite. So he's burning down. Secret just got to get out of there. Flawless is right here though. Oh, there's a flash in from Fuji. Cancel the auto. This is the dress line too. Oh, Flawless gets in, gets the stun down, maybe able to walk this down with the Conqueror proc, but here's Hachimetra on the backside. Low health bars, will get tagged by Soul here, has to flash away, and right now RJ's turning this on its head.
They've been absolutely destroyed.
Routed, destroyed, taken down, and first blood going to Soul.
Oh, and this all comes around one missed hook and buying enough time for a safeguard to come in. You can see how annoying it is to play against the level 2, the level 3 of this duo. Again, both of these teams have so much ability to brawl out very early into the game. It's very unlike the meta we've seen for the entirety of spring. Burning Core, they see the gauntlet thrown down and say, sweet, okay, trading on the bot lane, let's go for this. But this duo, if it does anything, is it brawls early. I mean, even with taking the ignite and the turret shot, the amount of work that this duo does is really visible here in this play. So I want you to look at what happens after this point, because when that flash auto comes in, if Viego was just a couple of hundred units closer, that's probably a guaranteed kill. That's CC into death. Doesn't happen out that way. Second round of the safeguard comes in. When you CC a volley bearer as they try to here, they try and disengage, actually refreshes Q cooldown too. So that doesn't help them at all at that point. The disengage is not successful. And Burning Core, they overestimate what they can achieve in this bot lane and give a lead over to what is a very oppressive bot lane if they get a lead.
Yeah, it's that. I think that fight was the definition of they had us in the first half. I'm not gonna lie, because there is no reason Secret should be able to take.
Or you can go for the take a turret shot to give them false hope, make it a slightly more relevant to the league.
Call an ambulance, but not for me. Just Secret. The man literally followed the Q under tower, ate a tower shot, and got ignited.
I appreciate that so much. Because, I mean, you can see what's happening with this, right? I mean, Secret, even just then, taking down a half HP. But so champions like Senna, you can say the same with Xayah and kind of Aphelios too. If they get access to the wave and get to hit minions, they get so much to do with. You can hit champions too as the mid jungle as well. That's a very easy pick on the Flawless. He just dies for free.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's free real estate. As here's RJ once again in the bot lane for Burning Core. Fujimoto not so long sad. For this world. They're just going to bully him down. There's a charm out. Recap. He wants a little bit of the action too, as up 4 kills already is RJ here. And they haven't even taken the first dragon yet.
Oh, they take a plate. Yeah, Dice on the Silas actually has pretty good tower damage with the Silas passive, giving attack speed and all the rest of it.
Right.
But Rascal Jesters, they crush through the bot side of the map. That is 3 kills onto the duo lane, a kill onto Flawless, who, again, this Viego can do things early, but not when you don't have anyone ready to respond. Your bot lane was under turret. You know that the mid lane's out of lane too. Gonna go see what happens actually with the entirety of this. There's even gonna put...
Wow.
Look, Silas is literally just coming up to his mid lane turret. There is no way this is a safe place for you to go towards. You're playing as a full push. You have to play with respect, and that respect is not given. After that point, this is kind of a done deal. You know that there are 4 people on the bot side of the map. You're not going to be able to retreat from that turret. You try and make a desperate last stand. But again, the mobility, the healing, the shielding just means that Rascal Jester can pull off this kind of play really, really effectively. I am loving how Rascal Jester are playing out this composition and throwing this question to Burning Core and saying, we're going to fight early. You ready? And the answer has been absolutely not so far.
Yeah. Oh, man. Pour one out for my buddy Flawless's... He's just kind of walked straight into his death there. That was really unfortunate. You hate to see it. But RJ, you know, I think they're just really still mad about that loss they took yesterday and how it was a little bit of an uncharacteristic loss. They weren't really playing to their strengths and how they're able to play the tempo of the game. And they're taking their frustrations out on Burning Core here in this
if we're gonna
first game.
Talk about that game, actually a lot of that was Recap getting shut down. He was playing against a Jet who picked Echo. I haven't seen that champion in such a long time. Now, Burning Core are looking to group up in force. The Herald has spawned. It's 8 minutes in. You don't have level 6s yet on your bot lane. You don't have that lightning crash, and you don't have the depth charge from the Nautilus. On the other side, there is actually a Dragon's Rage. You don't have the center ult, but Rascal Jester, they're ready to fight.
Burning Core, Fujimoto said, I'm going in, but I don't think the rest of the team was with him as RJ are all there all day, ready to fight. Flawless barely getting away, has to ult over the side to get away. Dice is here, gonna try and make something happen over the side. Yuhi wants to lend some support, but there's just nothing Burning Core can do in this situation.
And this is my huge problem with how Burning Core approach this Herald. Yes, I understand that Herald is a way to get back into the game, get a lot of gold through plates and all the rest of it, particularly when you take it very early into the game. But you've fallen behind against another composition that wants to brawl early. Yes, you have tools to do that yourself, but that doesn't mean you're alone in that regard. So Burning Core, they commit to a fight which is frankly not on their terms, and they get caught out. It's over eager, and they're punished rightfully for it.
Definitely. And oh man, Rascal Jester not playing around, wasting no time at all, getting all the objectives as they can, forcing the fights. Fujimoto in an awkward place here. Gonna go flash Lance.
Not sure you want this, do you?
All right. Okay. They want something, as they will get a 1-for-1 trade, but here comes the rest as we do have Soul rotating up. Wow. That was a lot of damage coming out from Soul.
No
and
way.
Recap's gonna take the Q. Still gonna give the credit over to Soul. And yeah, Fujimoto, I'm not sure you wanted to take that, brother, because it does not go well for Burning Core in the end.
So I know that when the Lee Sin was locked in, we were questioning, when was the last time that Hachimecha played that champion? And we gave this reasoning of Hachimecha being able to path around the map and just be the early playmaker that the region has typically played around. Turns out the Lee Sin's in the hand of Secret, and he's no slouch with it either.
Oh my god, no, don't do it to him. Okay, Secret's gonna back off from Yuhi, but I really thought we were just gonna see the quote-unquote support solo out the AD carry as Yuhi having to flash out to save his life, as the piercing shadow will not result in a kill, but you know, just I admire the effort.
In fairness, when Ahri doesn't have ult, this is a fine play to make. This is just big brain from Hachimecha. This is... Maybe you should kind of see the fact that the top camps are down from Rascal Jester, likely not going to be going towards them. You know that bot lane hasn't been showing on bot tower either. There's a chance that they can be roaming. The information wasn't clearly there in Burning Core, but they choose to go for a flip. They try and find some play to get back into the game, which I do think they need to do. It's just that this one obviously ends up being very much a fight too far, and they don't really get much for it.
Yeah, and they're going to go ahead and drop this Herald down here. Rascal Jester in the bot lane. Take the last bit of these plates, just dawning on 11 minutes here. Oh, it's only been 11 minutes, but it feels like an eternity.
You look at the timestamp, you're thinking, wait, hang on, shouldn't this be happening, maybe 3 minutes later, just when plates are falling? This seems to be very accelerated, and it absolutely is. And the the players which have been accelerated are Soul and Secret. Now, we were questioning for a lot of, particularly the first round robin, what the heck has happened with this 2v2? Because we expected them to be coming in absolutely hot off the press. We knew that these two were such an important part of Rascal Jester's success in the last season when they were a top team in the last summer split. But Now we're really starting to see them wake up, come online, and be a huge threat. Sat with full turret plate gold down from that bot side with first tower, five kills between the two of them. Burning Core have to deal with an absolute warhead of a bot lane heading towards them.
Yeah, this is beautiful, man. Like, that's solidarity between Soul and Secret. 302, 203, my buddies got me, and they're just making this Lee Sin pick work, as we do see that Secret will be on the run here. I mean, he's Lee Sin, he can get out. His mobility is kind of crazy like that, as Burning Core trying to start a fight. They don't want to continue. This is over the side here. Finally comes Ino, and once again, Sol just picking up kills left and right. The World Ender is there, going straight in as the Stormbringer. Hachimecha dropping low. Yuhi will pick up a kill in the back half. He's untouched. He's free firing, and that's a double for him. Burning Core might be able to turn this around. Misses the charm out from Recap. This looks to be the disengage from Burning Core, but Yuhi free firing on the back, netting them something in the pocket for Burning Core here.
It is actually a 2 for 2, all things said and done, which is, being credit to Burning Core, not something which they should have been able to do at that point. Gonna see a replay and see how that came about, because you were right in terms of saying, oh yeah, Secret's the Lee Sin, surely he can get out from this. And of course he does have the Lee Sin kick too if he wants the extra disengage, but Rascal has to choose to buy into this. Let's see where this goes a bit awry. For me, it's when Dice on the Silas starts stacking up the Conqueror, starts really getting into the fray. Yuhi's untouched so far. They don't end up getting that target down either. And then look at what Dice is doing. That auto attack, which is AoE from Sal's passive, starts shredding across multiple people. He steals the volley barrel, which is very strong early into the game. And then, I mean, Secret goes on a bit of a happy, fun journey and chooses that life is not worth living for that particular minute of play. And Rascal Jester hand over a shutdown there, actually, with the Lee Sin dying.
Yeah, just a little bit of a blunder and a trip, resulting in a big pocket of gold pickup for Yuhi and the boys of Burning Core, as they're looking for an answer here. We have Second Herald spawning here in about 35 seconds, and all eyes are looking towards his top side, looking to contest all of the top laners, the bot laners, and Recap has become a gray screen lurker. Stolen charm, baby! Dice making it happen. Shutdown coming in from Flawless, stealing ult, stealing champions all together. Burning Core Youths in the night, once again picking up a few kills for themselves.
I mean, is that just the you versus the charm she tells you not to worry about? Dice with the just dashing forward, managing to, or rather, no, sorry, Flawless getting the stolen charm from Recap, overstepping. This is actually a pretty big moment in this game. It's a big momentum shift. Recap looking to get away some of that vision that Burning Core had set up defensively in their own jungle, but they're too far away from a Senna queue. They're too far away from an amount of CC to come in and return. And Recap gets caught out in a very awkward position and is very far from his team to stay safe. Yeah,
and it's like in the replay, you saw Recap spot somebody out with the
sweeper, yeah,
with the sweeper, but he turned away just a little too late. Secret, no way, go for the 1v1 against Dice, and he gets it with the assist from the tower. Wow. Well, we were just praising Burning Core.
Turns out in this order of the blind monks, there's a secret technique to killing people in tower dives. And just as we're fighting over vision, it's a dead Nautilus. Rascal Jester, they find a couple of awkward fights back to back, but they are not done yet.
Oh yeah, a couple awkward fights, but Burning Core just giving over 2 quick kills in a matter of just less than a minute rather, is that was just
going.
Oh my goodness, Secret making me lose my words here as they are posturing forward in this mid lane. I doubt Burning Core is actually going to try and go for a fight here.
Oh, Flawless, no.
But, Secret playing super secret jungler in this game with this pocket Lee Sin pick, as once again they get another kill to his name. You mean to tell me this support Lee Sin's 4-1-5 with a gore drinker? Oh Jesus.
I mean, Sen is very much helping in that regard. I think Salsa says like, yeah, don't really care about the minions this game. Of course, the changes to Sen, I mean that you're mainly letting your lane partner take the farm, and this is such a great play by Secret.
The flash
he gets tagged by the extended Doug, but then he safeguards away from the initial landing point, so extra follow-up autos aren't enabled. I know it has flash. Is it a 1v2 though?
Perfect flash.
1v3
gave the explosive explosive cast, but here comes Fujimoto to the Dying Shadow, baby.
Stop diving this time! Stop diving
You can't
this
do
time!
it. Stopwatch to buy time. There is the tower there, flashing in. Ray Fark, you will confirm the kill off of that, but oh my goodness, that was almost terrible for Burning Core.
I mean, that's still a 1-for-1 and a 1v3. Having to blow a stopwatch, having to blow so many resources. Rascal Jester, they are styling on Burning Core across their whole team.
Yeah, absolutely. And just Soul from downtown with the Dawning Shadow as he lands another W, binding on to Flawless, who once again will go down in this third Drake uncontested. We hadn't even touched on the Infernal Rift. Because there's just been so many people, bodies dropping left and right and center. As Rascal Jester just flexing all over Burning Core right now.
They're flexing so hard. I mean, Set was banned, can't stop them stopping the show in their own damn time. And you do get the objective bounty being taken by Dice from taking down that top lane turret. And Dice on this Silas is, at this point, probably the X factor for Burning Core. You get one good pick and you get the Conqueror stacked up, then suddenly that unlocks the Viego starting to go off. You can steal one of those souls. So Rascal Jester, they have cleaned up the way that they've been playing just a little bit in the last couple of minutes, and they've not been overstepping the way that they did a couple of times beforehand. But watch out for Dice on the other side. That's the one person I'm looking at to say maybe they can change the fortune of this game for Burning Core.
For sure, yeah. I'm really looking towards Dice and Flawless to make stuff happen, you know, get those resets, get those stolen abilities in their pocket to change the tide for Burning Core as Flawless walks straight into recap. Dice was over there, so he's like, hey, I can maybe make something happen. But these two, this mid-jungle duo, this thieving duo, rather, definitely going to try and make something happen, as we do have Herald in the top lane.
You made this? I made this, duo.
Oh, this is your ultimate? This is our ultimate.
Okay, well, he's trying to take some Krogs, but Ashimecha says, no, you're not allowed to be the Prince of Thieves in this one. Become a pauper once more. Solemn Secret working the way back up, and we might be in for another fight.
Yeah, looking for another fight, or just, yeah, they're just going to take Shelly. Doesn't even get the charge off on the second tower.
A rare retreat in this game, choosing not to go for the big fight. I, for one, am shocked.
Who would have thought? Burning Core not taking a fight? Interesting. As once again, Ray Farky and I know just doing big body, big boy things in the bot lane. As top players.
So we have obviously more item completions coming in. You can see that obviously Senna went for the Eclipse, very bursty, getting the Rage Blade second, saying, yeah, it's a good item in general, and the on-hit very much helping. Dice, the X-Factor player, trying to play around the side lane, but there's a response teleport.
Here we go. Response teleport immediately into the stun from Flawless. But Hachimecha is here, and so is Secret, and so is Soul. It's a 5v2 in the top lane. Oh, Burning Core, you thought you had it, but your goose is got, as Flawless is going to be burning down and will be taken out. Will be claimed by Recap. In the mid lane, though, Burning Core trying to make something happen, trying to get some gold in their pockets. We'll get the objective bounty on to Yuhi. And yeah, just 7 seconds away from this Baron.
That's exactly the thing, right? It's 7 seconds away from Baron, and you think, oh, wow, there's been how many kills in this game? Oh, yeah, Baron's only just spawning. Now, there are some higher kill regions than us. The LJL does like to take it a little slow in the early game. This is a very fast-paced game for us. Baron has only just spawned, but even with that kind of in the equation, of course, that meant that Rascal Jester couldn't take it earlier. They couldn't snowball the game into like probably a game-ending advantage. There is still a sliver of hope here for Burning Core. You can see the way that Rascal Jester are playing on side lanes. Burning Core occasionally have options to pick people off. However, Burning Core get themselves another objective bounty. They're starting to claw back some gold. The gold is not out of sight yet. The question is, what can you actually transfer that into? You do have 2 items now on Zeri. Maybe Zeri's the person that can pop off in these team fights if they're untouched, but still a long way to climb up this mountain for Burning Core. As Rascal Jesters, they have plenty of big items completed on their own. 2 items on the mid and 80 carry.
Yeah, the items are there. The gold's just there. You know, the passives are there. This is Dragon Soul Point for Rascal Jester. Burning Core having to make something happen. They're pushing in as many waves as they can. You saw that RJ didn't opt to go for that Baron after they got the pick onto Flawless, even though all 5 members were top side. They decided they want to reset and get back up out on the map.
Spend that gold. Now,
spend that gold.
with a minute until Dragon. with a very early soul point in the table, Burning Core are very much against the wall, because while they have been playing a wider map, trying to catch people in rotation, even if they commit to one side of the map, there's a chance that a big objective falls at the same time. Rascal Jester don't care about giving up one dragon if it leads to a Baron. Burning Core can't say the same. They can't allow an Infernal Soul to come through, especially when these fights have been so bursty, so heavy skirmish, and everyone is coming to party. It's 40 seconds. Start taking that timer down.
Yep, the 22-minute Baron Soul is on the table as all 10 members of this game are situated around this bot side. You see, once again, RJ clearing out that mid wave to have an advantage push. And they gave up dragon positioning, but they can easily just take it back. You would have to assume. Nice stepping a little bit forward here. As, Secret's gonna follow and get an amazing kick onto it, and that's the party started. We do have Flawless jumping over the side. Recap will get the first kill in this fight. Dice is down, Dice is gone. Ray Farkey next on the table. Hachimecha gonna go ahead and send them there. As, yeah, mid lane, no problem. Position, no problem. RJ, they just have all the tools that Burning Core lack, and they're going to go ahead and claim this very early Dragon Soul. And I see the pings on the map. You see them too. They're heading for that Baron.
And they absolutely should be. They have so many fighting tools left available to them. Even with this, they can use all their ultimates. They still have flashes, and they've got an Infernal Soul on top of their items too. Dice, he's positioning aggressively. He knows he needs to look for something, look to steal that ultimate, but Secret finds his target. There's one player which we called out earlier and said, hey, maybe Dice can be the difference maker. He's the one with real playmaking opportunities, the ability to catch people out, and Secret, for not even the second time this game, gets a huge play on the Lee Sin. It is, I mean, this is what happens when supports are unleashed. We can't allow them to have these kinds of champions, folks.
Yeah, clearly, I mean, like, we were talking about it. It's like, oh yeah, we've seen the support Lee Sin. It's worked before. It's working in this game as well. As Secret showing us another tool set of his. We're like, oh yeah, Secret, he's gonna play engaged champions. Oh yeah, you know, he's gonna play like the Nod. He's gonna play the.
I mean, that wasn't engaged.
In fact,
by sheer definition, that was definitely the start of a fight.
Just showing he can play his style on literally any champion.
Now, this is really interesting by Burning Core, though, seeing this on screen for the last 30 seconds. You see that Burning Core? They're trying to group up to find a miracle pick, but Rascal Jesters aren't having any of it. They're pushing down mid, playing through mid and bot. There's a chance of a long flank coming in, but if they walk outside of that Raptor pit, you can see that there's red wards all the way through it. So Rascal Jester's gonna slip the net on that one, and Burning Core, while it's a creative attempt, they are going to lose multiple lanes of push for it, and they're going to start really falling into a deficit. And of course, the Baron is still on the table. It actually wasn't taken during that replay. Rascal Jester still have that to fall back to and secure.
Yeah, just a lot of time wasting done by Burning Core, looking for that deep mid flank as Dice and Ray Farkey going to try and get onto Ino.
Recap's here.
Yep, going to be dodging out, goes ahead and burns these hourglass here, gets caught out of the charm, right out of it, steals one for himself, but nothing's going to come from it, as I know he claims that kill after they try to jump onto him, and Hachimecha will take out Ray Farkey once again. It's just Rascal Jester putting the boots to the heads of Burning Core. Such great gameplay. Recap, definitely feeling better after yesterday's blunder, and with 3 members dead on Burning Core, Rascal Jester can surely end this game. They have a big enough wave. They have the
with both solo loners dead, you gotta think so. They have 5 people pushing down these turrets. They have all the damage they need to. And Flawless just had to run into the other side of the map, and he's just given up on the game.
All right. That's a little beat up I've never seen any, but that will be perfectly fine for Rascal Jester, as they're going to, pad the KDA just a little bit as they take down Burning Core and net themselves another win.
And with that win, Rascal Jesters, again, they start keeping pace, putting the question over to Sengoku and say, you have to win to keep that second spot. You may have taken the head-to-head over us, but it's not done just yet. And what a great game by Rascal Jester. And all this tells me is that our top 3 teams of DFM, Rascal Jester, and DFM are not messing around, and I cannot wait to see them clash in playoffs.
Yeah, best of 5s are really, the telling sign of a team and how they are able to play. And I, for one, am very excited to see what all Rascal Jester can pull out in a best of 5. Like, Secret
I
pulling
mean,
out
they've
this
shown a
Lee
lot of
Sin.
stuff now. You're absolutely right. They have seen a lot of stuff. But at the end of this, we are blessed with the ability to go to a short break and actually go and talk about this in a bit more in depth on that, so we can start thinking about what we're going to say instead of just saying what comes into our mind. So with that in mind, we'll see you after the break. Yeah, we have we have LJL sitting level like somewhere down here. We don't really fight that much, and then just blam out the window, just like flown completely through the skyscraper. And I love seeing these kinds of games. At the end of the day, I say this quite a lot, and I've been saying quite a lot recently. But as a color caster, sometimes you're sat there and you say, you know what? I love clean League of Legends. I love seeing teams like T1 cleanly rotate in the mid game to get themselves leads. But sometimes that's kind of like your Michelin star meal. I like that. Sometimes you need your junk food. This was junk food, and it was greasy, it was slick, it was tasty as all heck.
Yeah, that's my kind of meal right there. Oh my goodness. Absolutely just disgusting, nitty gritty, mud mosh pitting good time because I think Rascal Jester were pretty angry about their game yesterday. They definitely showed us that that was not representative of them heading into this playoffs, heading into these best of 5s, and that they are here to win. They are here to play some great League of Legends. And Burning Core, unfortunately, could not handle that pressure.
No, that seems very fitting. And, you know, at the end of the day, Rascal Jester needed to show up today because yesterday was not good. They got manhandled by particularly Jet, but the whole of Sengoku. And now we're sat here with both these teams fighting for that second place spot. Sengoku have by far the hardest strength to schedule. Now, you can't just write off teams completely, but with our two bottom teams of Axis and V3 really struggling, yeah, you're right. We are expecting to finish off with a win streak in the last part of this split, whereas Sengoku have to play against the Hawks, who've been looking on the up and up. They're coming up next, and they have to play, of course, I'm trying to remember who the other last game was against. Let me go quickly check that one. And they have Burning Core. Now, Burning Core, of course, they had a pretty shaky game today. And we'll have to talk about that too, because they have yet to win a game where they're behind at 15 minutes. That is really problematic when you do have a couple of teams which will slap you very, very hard for trying to just coast through the early game. And we saw that today. Rascal Jester, they picked a fight composition which could brawl early, and they played it out super, super well. I'm worried now for Burning Core in their own last part of the split, because there is a slight chance that they could lose that fourth spot, and that would be devastating for this team.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like it definitely was very fun to watch, and Hachimecha definitely was playing the best Volibear game of just, you know, absolute brain off, let's go. And oh my goodness.
Well, the thing is, I would say that his brain was very on. He was there at all the right plays. You look at the first fight bot lane. He's there to respond to that play. Bot lane buys enough time for him to shut down that play. Just after that point, look at that mid lane dive, which Burning Core tried to pull off against the Ahri. He's there in time for that too. I mean, as much as he is there going like lol bear, running at you, stunning, and doing the middle court meme special. He was also very cerebral about how they played out this game. This looked like a bit of a slaughterhouse and just kind of fighting wherever you see the fights. But Rascal Jester, to me, were quite intelligent about how they position around the map.
Yeah, I can definitely say they had that wherewithal and knowledge to be on the timings for sure. It's just, it really felt a lot like Burning Core seemingly had an idea of, hey, let's do this, but the execution just was not there, and they just fell on their face. And Rascal Jester definitely just kept punishing them after each time. It's like it's like they just had the ruler just slapping the hand every time they messed up writing a sentence on the chalkboard. You know, it's just nope, try it again, nope, try it again, and it just got to that point where it was an insurmountable lead by Rascal Jester for Burning Core to come back from. And we can keep talking about, you know, Secret getting those amazing Lee Sin kicks, the fact that he played Lee Sin in general, you know, we do have, we had, you know, Dice trying his best to make the Silas pick work, and Recap was just like, nah, I'm Ari, I can do what I want. So it was just a whole lot of Rascal Jester being the better seated team, but also just being the better team.
It felt like they were arm wrestling, right? And they felt they just kind of like muscled down on the other team. And they said, "Sweet, we're here to fight, and we're here to, you know, just outplay." Now there were a couple of times where, of course, that got a little bit dicey. Okay, memes aside, whatever. Yeah, but they went beyond their vision line, and they kind of overplayed their hand. Either way, I think at this point probably do need to start wrapping up this post game. So Brackish, I'm not sure if your sound is back, but
it should now be here. I can now actually be heard. If anyone was expecting, didn't know what this was about, Notebook, by my calculations, the CPM for that game was off the charts. That's basically the only important thing I said during this post game. All right, we are going to throw it to a break ahead of the final game of the day. Sengoku Gaming, their fate entirely in their own hands as they take on the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks Gaming to try and close out the split and take the final spot in the Juggernaut match. Do not go anywhere. This game is promising to be a banger.